Hi guys, today through this video I am going to give you a complete guide to yarn weights so that your next project turns out perfect. If you're a beginner, you may find that understanding yarn weights may sound like another confusing topic to learn. However, the reality is that yarn weights can be very important. Yarn weight refers to the thickness of the yarn you are knitting with. Despite its name, yarn weight actually has nothing to do with yarn weight. It actually affects the look and feel of the finished fabric, how long it takes to weave it, and how much yarn you need in general. All yarn is graded by weight, but different countries use different grading systems. Yarn is generally divided into 7 different yarn weight categories labeled with numbers 0 to 7. These categories are lace, superfine, fine, light, medium, bulky, super bulky, and jumbo. When you buy yarn, you can find the yarn weight category written on the yarn label. The label will usually have the category number and/or the category name that goes with a specific number. If you don't have the correct understanding of how to read yarn labels, you can follow the article on how to read yarn labels on my blog site stitchguider.blogspot.com that I have mentioned a link below. So let's talk about the yarn weights in detail. Weight 0, lace weight. Lace weight yarn is the lightest weight of yarn and covers yarn, web yarn, light fingering yarn, and any yarn used to weave lace. Lace weight yarn is not always easy for beginners and is often knitted with 1.5 mm to 2.25 mm needles to create an open and airy effect. This type of material is typically known as 1-ply to 3-ply in the UK, Australia, and New Zealand, and is commonly used to knit small, delicate items such as bibs, cloth, and doilies. Now you may have a problem with what the ply actually means and what it has to do with the yarn. When talking about yarn weight, you'll often hear terms like 4-ply yarn, 8-ply yarn, or 10-ply yarn. These terms refer to the number of threads that are twisted to form the yarn. In other words, ply is a measurement of how many strands of yarn are used to make one strand of yarn. A 2-ply yarn is made of 2 strands twisted around one another. 3-ply is made of 3 strands, and a 4-ply yarn is made of 4 strands. Weight 1, superfine. Superfine or fingering weight yarn is much like lace weight yarn and often used for delicate and thin projects like shawls, knitted sock patterns, or baby clothes. If you do substitute these weight types, make sure you're using the right needle size. Weight 2, fine. Fine weight yarns are also known as sport weight yarns. They're slightly heavier than superfine weight yarns, and are typically used for projects such as sweaters, hats, and other lightweight clothing items. This yarn weight is roughly equivalent to 5-ply, though there is no direct UK equivalent. It is usually worked on US size 3 to 5 needles. Weight 3, DK lightweight yarns are also known as DK weight or double knitting yarns are slightly heavier than fine weight yarns. It is roughly equivalent to 8-ply in Australia and New Zealand, and is usually knit on US size 6 needles. This yarn weight is easy for beginners to knit with and works up relatively quickly. Weight 4, medium weight yarn is reportedly the most common yarn weight in the world. I often think of worsted weight yarns as all-purpose yarns, since you can use them for so many different types of projects. Worsted weight yarns are typically knit on size 6 to 9 needles. Weight 5, bulky weight yarn. Bulky yarns are also known as chunky yarns in the UK and 12-ply in Australia. They are thicker than worsted weight yarns and are usually knit on US size 9 to 11 needles for projects that require a lot of warmth and weight like bulky hats. Weight 6, super bulky weight yarn. Super bulky weight yarns are some of the heaviest yarns, and are used for projects such as hats, scarves, and blankets. They are typically worked on needles US size 11, 8 mm, or wider. It's easy to learn how to knit with super bulky weight yarns, since it's so easy to see the individual stitches. Weight 7, jumbo weight. Category 7 is the thickest yarn weight category. It refers to jumbo weight yarn that is usually used in giant blanket knitting kits, rugs, and arm knitting projects. Due to its weight and thickness, jumbo yarn is usually knit using US size 17, 12.75 mm, needles or larger. These are the 8 types of yarn weights, and we have discussed everything you need to know about each yarn weight. But you probably have this question: why exactly does the weight of the thread matter? Sometimes you can get away without worrying about the gauge or weight of the yarn. Some projects, like blankets, scarves, and heating pads, will likely be just as functional, even if they end up being a few inches larger or smaller than expected. When you are making other items, like socks and sweaters, you'll want the final measurement to be exact. Imagine spending hours making a beautiful item of clothing and it not fitting. For projects like these, you'll need to choose the correct yarn weight and needle/hook size to meet the gauge. I hope you've gotten a lot of information about yarn weights and everything you need to know about working with them. If I missed anything important considering yarn weights you know about, please share it in the comments. If you like this video, please give it a like, and if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe. For more information on knitting yarn, fiber crafts, and everything in between, visit my blog site via the link stitchguider.blogspot.com I've mentioned below. So thanks for watching my video and I'll see you next time, bye.